workers have joined unofficial strikes to protest at the use of foreign labour at the Lindsey oil refinery in Lincolnshire. Workers at Sellafield Nuclear Power Station in Cumbria were among those who walked out today. The strikes began last week in protest at the use of Italian and Portuguese labour at the Lindsey refinery. Danny Savage is there for us. Danny.
Kate, for a fourth day in a row, hundreds of people came here to demonstrate about the use of foreign workers. 700 people still refusing to work at this oil refinery, and that row is still ongoing. Despite all that's been said over the last few days, there is still no solution in sight to this ongoing problem. It's winter and there is discontent. There was no let-up in this dispute, despite the weather. Today, even more protesters arrived in the dark to support this unofficial strike, fired up by the Prime Minister telling them their actions were indefensible.
On television yesterday, he tried to get out of it by saying we're doing skilled work, but what he meant were British jobs for British people, and he's gone back on it.
I don't think it's defensible from a Prime Minister to attack working people.
But the government has defended its position and says the protests must stop.
An unofficial strike is a counterproductive way of solving problems that can actually be solved by discussion and by negotiation. And ACAS, whom we asked to come into this, is pressing ahead with work to establish all the facts, and we will continue to press for a resolution of this individual dispute.
Here at the Lindsey refinery, unions did go in to start negotiations. The outcome was a request to go back to work before any further negotiations, but that was rejected.
You just know that they will come out with that statement, get back to work before we negotiate. So patronising, we just don't accept that at all.
And that hasn't stopped more walkouts in sympathy elsewhere. At Sellafield, about 1,000 contractors have stopped working for 24 hours, and at Longannet Power Station in Fife, industrial action is taking place because contractors here are also concerned about the use of foreign workers at the refinery in Lincolnshire. Now, Telltale, who own this plant, have once again reiterated that they are not discriminating against British workers, but the demonstrators are still not happy. There seems to be stalemate. Discussions are continuing, but there still does seem to be no obvious solution. Kate.
Thanks, Danny. 17 minutes past 1 now. Our top story this lunchtime: the heaviest snowfalls in 18 years.